It's okay.
Okay.
Good evening. Good evening, kings and queens of the land. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mngoni Mkonto, and this is the Royal Opinion. Today, I want to talk a little bit about the speech that, the CIC president of the EFF, President Julius Malema. I want to talk a little bit about this speech that he made in a funeral in KwaZulu Natal. Just a little bit. Let me just share.
Lala Mama, because through your love and care for your son and your family, you have given the world the gift of a revolutionary. Lala Mama, because through your determination never to give up, you have produced a resilient young man who does not break under difficult circumstances. Lala Mama, and the debt that we owe you as a generation can never be repaid. All we can guarantee to you is that we'll look after the humble product you have produced and left behind, and use him to bring hope into the lives of others here in South Africa. The leadership of the IFP is here. The leadership of the ANC is here. The leadership of Team Sugar is here. Leaders of society are here.
Listen to what he's saying. Listen to what Julius is saying in this speech. He's basically announcing his newfound alliances. He says the leadership of the IFP is here. The leadership of the ANC is here. But he's not commenting as yet about the leadership of the MK party, or is not commenting now about MK party, but is commenting about the leadership. Is basically recognizing the leadership which is there in the funeral, the leadership of the ANC and the leadership of the IFP is there. So he is actually just recognizing his, announcing his new close alliances in a way. So I want you to listen carefully. You know, we need to listen carefully to when the politicians are speaking. Let's go on.
Because your son is very kind to all, irrespective of their political affiliation. Those are the values you have instilled in your son. You have borrowed us your son, people of Osizweni, and now it is our responsibility to take him into our embrace as he mourns the first love of his life. Our mother passed at a time when we were still trying to find the answers to our performance during the elections here in KwaZulu-Natal. Our mother passes on when Commissar Mongezi is trying very hard to survive the tsunami that hit everyone in KwaZulu-Natal called Umkhonto Wesizwe. That tsunami was ruthless. As Mongezi is trying to analyze how this tsunami came from, his mother passes on. As we stand here today, I feel a great deal of pain because I was unable to express to Mama Twala herself how proud we are of her son.
Now recognizing for the first time, I hear him recognizing that the MK party was a tsunami. Before it was just like taking it for granted, like it's basically nothing. But now recognizing that MK party was a tsunami in the KwaZulu Natal, and is the one who made them to lose their votes. The MK party, for the first time, I hear him recognize this fact.
Who stood bravely at the center of that tsunami and never once showed sign of ubukwala, a cowardice. Your son Mongezi Twala was not a coward, Mama. And anyone who suggests that he failed to defend the EFF here in KZN has never experienced what we experienced. The truth of the matter is that the old man in Nkandla shocked all of us. But we will never allow that shock to happen again. And we will rebuild the EFF of your son here in KwaZulu Natal, Mama, with him by our side. We will return to the battlefield with your soldier and regain our strength through hard work and determination. This is why, fellow comrades and members of the church, as the EFF, we are here in KZN all over this province on a fact-finding mission to find out ukuthi wenzeni uZuma to take our numbers.
Simple. The question should be not to wenzeni Zuma. The question should be what Zuma did not do. He just did not sell out. He was just did not sell his people out. That's what he did not do, not what he did. What he did is another thing, but what he did not do is just to sell his people out. He did not sell his people out. That's why people love President Zuma. That's why people voted for President Zuma.
Because all of us are in shock. So we are mourning today, but Mongezi tomorrow. We want to beg on the picket lines. A leader is allowed to mourn and cry, and then we must soldier on and carry those we love in our hearts as an inspiration to confront all the difficulties in our life. Comrades, we are in trouble of a government called Government of National Unity. Siphethwe ngamabhunu. There is no government of national unity. It's a grand coalition between the ANC and the DA. And the ANC being very weak, anyone who goes into coalition with them can take them to any direction that person wants. So today, the people who are governing this country is the DA under Helen Zille, and the ANC is just following. We have a responsibility as the people of Newcastle to make sure that we come together to defend this land of Mama Twala, because we cannot allow that the DA should reverse the gains of 1994. We can tell you now that this government of national unity, which you are part of, Prime Minister, one day we are going to wake up and they are going to tell us that there is no longer kingdom of KwaZulu Natal. The Zulu king will no longer exist because the white supremacists do not recognize traditional leadership. So everything else that reflects blackness and African, they are going to destroy.
Yeah, this is not true because the Zulu kingdom as it is, and many other kingdoms as we see them, they have been built by the British. Many of the current kingdoms that are in existence at the moment in South Africa and basically in the whole of the African continent, the kingdoms that are still standing, many of them were built by the British. The real kings and the queens of the land are those who were destroyed in wars, are those who were destroyed during the colonial wars. because they would kill the real people and allow their puppet to lead. They would remove the real people and allow their puppet to lead. So the actual kings now, the real kings are no more, have been disposed. The real kings have been disposed. So the British monarch does recognize kingdoms, but they only recognize sell out kingdoms.
Everything that promoted and put the black people in the forefront, this government of today is going to destroy. We must be aware as we mourn the death of our mother that we are in a more big trouble than we were yesterday, because we have a responsibility to defend the gains of 1994. Black unity is very necessary, but we can't say black people must be united under the old man. What does the old man have to do with the future? The black unity must be led by the youth, such as Monges, who are part of the solid organization with solid policies. Black unity cannot be led by people who wake up every day and fundraise a new policy, trying to understand what they stand for.
This is Malema now attacking the MK party. This is Julius Malema now attacking the MK party, saying every day they don't know what they stand for. Every day they come up with new policy, and that the black unity cannot be led by an old man like Zuma. Black unity can only be led by young people like those who are in the EFF, giving example about Mongi's there, whose mother has passed away. So, but what he's saying there, he's saying people should not unite under the MK banner or under the call by President Zuma, who said black people should unite. This is the reason why President Zuma did not use the EFF or did not announce that people should vote for the EFF in order to unite the black vote. This is precisely the reason, because the president of the EFF is a sell-out politician. He's already a bought out character. White people are using him to now stay is outside the GNU, just to confuse black people that there is an alternative outside the MK party, and that there wouldn't be any opposition. Uh, all black people would clearly see that the MK party is the only party that represents black people. Even his members would realize if he goes into the GNU. So he's not going into the GNU not because he does not want to be with the DA. He's been governing with the DA for years in municipalities. But the reason he does not want to go into coalition this time around with the DA and the ANC is because they put him out there so that he confuse black people that there's an alternative, another party where black people can unite, create a confusion among black people and among black children, that they can actually unite under another organization other than the MK party. Where was the EFF to unite black people in the first place? Because it has failed. Decimally, it has failed. What efforts? Because he's talking about uniting Africa. Malema has been talking about united Africa, but there's no effort that is ever made to show his ambition to unite Africa. I did not see him do anything to unite in order to unite Africa. Now we've got 3 zones under the French colony which are liberated. Mali with President Asim Goita, and Niger with President Mohamed Tiani, and Burkina Faso with President Traore, Ibrahim Traore. Those are the 3 liberated zones in Africa. Those are the ones who have chased out the colonizers. The Africa is now in the rise because these 3 leaders have actually taken over the administration of their country, though it was through the arms, because the European mafia only hears the language of armed forces. If you don't have armed forces, the mafia is not able to listen to the people. So now we've got liberated zones of Africa. Julius Malema, I have never heard him trying to coordinate with Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, uh, and trying to coordinate with Mali government or anybody, or support those governments, basically efforts to support those governments. I have never heard him doing anything like that, because he's not genuine about the liberation of black people. He's not genuine about the liberation of black people, and he's not genuine about.
Thanks to President Ibrahim Traore's bold leadership. After years of struggle, the country is witnessing a remarkable transformation. This country's dormant projects are now springing to life, where infrastructure that once lay in ruins is being revived with unprecedented speed. This is the story of Burkina Faso today, a story of resilience, progress, and the unstoppable will of its people. In recent months, Burkina Faso has made significant strides in the fight against terrorism, creating a newfound sense of security and stability across the nation. Seizing this momentum, President Traore is now laser-focused on fast-tracking key infrastructure and development projects. His administration understands that these projects are not just about bricks and mortar. They are about building a foundation for long-term prosperity, economic growth, and national unity. One of the most symbolic achievements of President Traore's leadership is the revival of the Burkina Faso passenger train service. After being out of service for over 4 years, this vital transportation link has been restored, much to the joy and excitement of the people. The train, which connects the capital city to the bustling hub of Bobo Dioulasso and even stretches to the border with Ivory Coast, is more than just a mode of transportation. It's a lifeline, a symbol of progress, connectivity, and the restoration of essential services that had been lost for too long. The resumption of the passenger train service has brought a palpable sense of anticipation and celebration across the nation. Residents gathered at the railway station in the capital city to welcome its return, their faces alight with hope and unity.
Ibrahim Traore, President Ibrahim Traore, getting into developing his country. Remember President Zuma, when he took over government in South Africa, he put up a plan of 4 trillion ran infrastructure 4 trillion infrastructure plan in South Africa. This is what Ibrahim Traore is doing in Burkina Faso. He has put up an infrastructure plan in Burkina Faso. He has suspended exportation of imported or precious metals like gold. It's suspended. It has to be processed in Burkina Faso, and people will have to buy finished products from Burkina Faso. No more going to European countries first. This is also happening in Mali. It's also happening in Niger. Is the Sahel State Alliance, the Sahel State Alliance, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. They have aligned to form the Sahel Alliance, cooperating in a lot of areas there. So Africa is in the rise. Europe is actually turmoil because there's war in the British. There's war in Britain. There's also war in US. The population is in the decline in all of those places, but oil has been discovered in South Africa. Oil and gas has been discovered in South Africa in Cape Town, and um, gas as well has been discovered in Mozambique. There's still a lot of precious metals which have not been mined in Africa, or which has not been exploited as yet. That's why they still want to keep us colonized and keep us as slaves. That's why they fight by all means to make sure that black people remain as they are, which is as slaves. So, but there's a rise in the new leadership of Africa. There's a new leadership of Africa who says they want to be liberated from the colonizers, who says they are tired of being slaves of this or they're tired of being British colonies in Africa. President Ibrahim Traore uh, implementing agricultural projects, starting agricultural processing factories. He has suspended, is in the construction of rail now in Burkina Faso. He's constructing rails, he's constructing um, tomato factories, processing factories, because Burkina Faso is rich in tomatoes. There's a rail which is getting built to which will travel from Burkina Faso, Niger to Mali in order to link the three countries, the three regions of Africa which are liberated, and its people. Its people will not be required to pay or to have visas or passports when they are traveling across these three nations. Their economies will be combined to form one economy. They've come up with the same currency, which will be backed by gold. That's what they are saying. So Africa is on the rise. Europe is on the decline. Europe is in war. Those who are Africans and who find themselves in Europe, they can look for opportunities here at home in Africa, because Africa will not be affected by the wars that will be happening at the moment. It's karma for the Europeans. Africans will be on the rise. Uh, Thank you very much for joining the live stream. Click the like button and subscribe if you are visiting for the first time. Thank you very much.